What is pussy poppin', you beautiful humans? My name is Ariane Andrew.
I'm Matt Dillon, and welcome to another piping hot episode of Sipping the Tea, where we what, Ariane?
Where we sip the tea and our guests
spill that tea. And I told you, listen, sometimes I leave you hanging, so
you
I can't do that. I love you, girl. I love you. What's up, Miss Little Glitty Glit? I see you there.
Little Glitz. And who you got over there?
Well, can you really see her? She needs a cut. But we got Miss Mama. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited because I'm a huge fan of the show. Christina Anthony, Anthony's My Love. She's on Mixed-ish, one of ABC's biggest hits. And she, I would say, in my opinion, you don't have to agree with me, Christina, but I think you are the breakout star, the fan favorite. So we are overjoyed that you are here. Welcome, my love.
Thank you so much, Matt. Thanks for having me, Ariane.
Yes, girl, we are so excited to chat with you. So we just gonna dive right on in. 2020, girl, was a interesting year for all of us. I think we all took something away from it. Looking back, what would you say were 3 takeaways that you had from 2020?
Ooh, I love that question. Well, for me, in 2020, I'm a newlywed. So I would say definitely make sure those relationships are right. I think we found out what matters, you know, the real friends that are the real friends, and for us, for my husband and I, we had gotten married just a few months before 2020 started.
Congratulations.
And thank you so much. And it worked out. Yes, congratulations.
The honeymoon period. Yes. I'm like, you definitely had the honeymoon period for sure.
Yeah. But for some people, they might have been like, wow, we learned in 2020, this is not for us. But fortunately for us, it was a chance for us to grow closer and just, you know, realize what matters. And for us, it is each other. It's our little 2-person family and just making that a priority. And another thing, I think you asked me for 3 things. Mm-hmm. Another thing I learned, we don't always have to be doing something. I didn't realize how tired I was until they sent us home from work. Until they were like, you cannot come back to the job. You know, my husband and I both work in television. And yeah, Hollywood was shut down for a little bit, for quite some time, actually. And so we were forced to be at home. And again, just finding out what really matters is not necessarily like this, I'm so busy, but rather that you really need balance and taking time for yourself and taking care of yourself, making sure you're at your best mental health and your physical health. I think especially for everything that we've all had to overcome over the last 12 months. And then I would say finally, the other thing that I learned that was important is just connecting with people, but also learning when you can say, no, I'm not gonna be able to do that. I got zoomed out for a minute there, FaceTimed out for a minute. And people they would be like, well, you at home? I mean, it's not gonna take you no time. You ain't gotta drive here. I'm like, no, girl, I'm not. It's not gonna happen. And I mean, at first, I definitely was one of the people. I don't know if this was you guys, but I definitely was one of the people that was like, "Oh yeah, let me Zoom with you. Let's see what's going on." But you can't. It still takes mental energy, and for me, it was taking a chance to just be like, "Actually, I can't Zoom. We're not Zoom happy hour today." I mean, if we were Zoom happy houring. It was 8 a.m. What? Why? Well, girl, I'm in Singapore. Well, I'm not. This is crazy.
I think that's interesting. That's an interesting dichotomy because it's for me, I was like the Zoom, everybody all of a sudden thought, all right, we're all just going to talk through Zoom and it doesn't matter the time frame. I was like, no, we have to find the stability within this unstable time. So it's a beautiful point that you touched on.
Yeah, we still need boundaries and structure, or else you'd just be Zooming all day and all night. But I think remembering what the sentiment was really, I care about you. I want to know how you're doing. We want to make sure we're staying in contact with people. So now my husband and I, we do a thing where there's a couple people, like my mama, she's not going to have that. She's like, I need to talk every day, all day. What's happening with you? But our other friends and our close family, we just do like, maybe we'll have a Zoom game night, get your drinks, get your snacks, and we just hang out. And then maybe we don't talk for like a few weeks, and that's okay. But the everyday Zoom, we had to chill on that.
Oh, I like that. There's a t-shirt in there somewhere. I'm like, everyday Zoom, we gotta chill on that.
We gotta chill. We
There's
gotta
a brand
chill.
there somewhere. I'm thinking something. I want our audience to get to know you. Let's rewind a little bit. We know Mixed-ish, and we're gonna get there. It's big, it's there, it's you, it's everybody. But I want to know, just a little bit about your journey and perhaps some of the maybe a highlight or a peak or a trough that led you along the journey and your fascination of the arts, being an actor, being an entertainer more so, I would say, in your life. What do you remember the first thing that like clicked in your head? Like, that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh, yes. Well, I like to think I was always an entertainer and always
I think you were. I would say you came out of the womb being an entertainer because you are like fiercely comedic, but there's so many tones and layers. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You that.
Yeah. Probably to my parents' annoyance. Oh gosh. But I definitely, I remember, I think there was like a play we went to Christian school, and I remember we had a play about Noah's Ark. And I was just like a random person on Noah's Ark. Maybe I was an animal. I don't know who I was. I was someone. But I just remember thinking, I am not Noah. What is happening? And I was probably in kindergarten. And my mother was just like, please just go up there and sing that song about the rain coming and float on the boat with everyone else. And I remember I was so preoccupied with not having a major role in Noah's Ark. But always been interested in entertainment. And really, I grew up, my parents, they came from the Deep South, and they actually went to segregated schools. So by the time it was time for me to actually go to college and study something, they were like, you're not going to be an actor. I mean, we're not paying money for that. You are going to go for something that's for real to us. And so, I actually majored in psychology. And then my father, I remember him saying, I was very upset about it. And he said, if you're really good at this, it will come back around to you. And so, I eventually made my way to Chicago, connected with the arts community there, did a bunch of plays, did some musicals. I like to sing, started doing. And then I think for me, really where I found my footing was when I got invited to the Second City to come watch a show and do a workshop about sketch comedy and improv. Because for me growing up, I knew what stand-up was, I knew SNL, I knew what Eddie Murphy, what his career was, but I really didn't know how people got onto SNL or how you got into sketch comedy. And so finding my footing there and learning how to write jokes for political satire and for late night, and learning sketch and improv, I really took to it and really took off. And so, so I spent time there, and really, I felt like I had done all I could do, as we call it. I was Chicago famous. My face was on the side of a bus.
Windy City's hopping, girl. Come on now.
Yes, it's the third coast. Okay. So my face was on the side of the CTA. Get your tickets. I was doing 8 shows a night. The celebrities would come in town, and I remember, just different people would come, and they're like, hey, can we, come and do some jokes with you guys late night? And I was having a blast, and then kind of felt like I had done all I could do, and heard they were looking for stars in Hollywood. And so I just assumed I'll go there and do a television show and just be famous. And that was not the case.
Yeah.
That was not the case. Let's tell you how bold I was. I got to the airport in Chicago and threw my coat away and put it in the trash at O'Hare, because I was going to Hollywood and it's so warm there. I won't need a coat. Let me tell you something. I got to Los Angeles and I found it to be cold, physically and emotionally. Whoa. I was cold. It was not what I thought. And I struggled out here, audition after audition. I hit it first, Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. They had come from Chicago, from the Second City. They were well-known improvisers. They got their own show on Comedy Central. And they were like, come over and so they can meet you and maybe you can be in the pilot. So I did that. and thought that was great. Now what's the next show I'm going to be on? And
Mhm.
it did not happen. 1 year went by, 2 years went by, 3 years went by. Got a customer service job, working for an internet company, you know, and just the whole time at the customer service job, you guys, I'm just here until I get my big break. They're like, sure, girl.
Yeah, like
Okay.
we've heard that before.
Yes, we've heard that before. I'm like, well, you don't understand. I'm an actor, and this is just my stepping stone.
Sorry.
They're like, your shift starts in an hour. Are you going to be back in time? So then I was trying to like go audition at lunch.
Yeah.
And again, here we're now, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7. And now at this point, I'm just like, I think a little bit embarrassed. And by the time I got to like my 8th year here, I really was like, oh, I get it, God. I'm not supposed to be making the jump from like live stage work to TV. I'm not supposed to do that. So I'll just go back to Chicago. And my boyfriend and I, we were together. He's my husband now, but I said, hey man, we're going to have to be long distance or something. I'm just leaving. And it was really him and my manager and my team that were like, hey, there's this one last audition, you know, why don't you do that? And then you can quit. And I really was like, well, I'm done and I don't believe in myself, but I'll do this because you guys said to. And, you know, I said, what's the show? And they're like, it doesn't have a name. It's a spinoff for Blackish. They haven't thought about what the name is yet. It's a really small part. She's like the aunt. It's 8 lines. And I think going up into that moment, I felt like I've just let everybody down so much. All these people supported me. I was on the bus in LA at one point, at 2 points. And I was just like, I can't do this. This is just too hard. But I got myself together, went over there, and I remember going back to work after I went to the audition and my rep saying, oh my gosh, they cast the mom. They want you to come back. And I said, I can't go back there. I have to go back to work. I'm on thin ice with my boss. Right. I've only got an hour, LA traffic. And they're like, please don't do this. And I went back and, you know, it turned out great. The next day they called.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. The next day they called to tell me I got it. I was so stunned. I just hung up the phone on them. And I was like, and they're like, are you crying? And I'm like, no, I'm just so stunned because I always hear no. You always say they went a different way or they're looking for something different. They want a different look. Or they're not going with a Black person for this. You know, I'm so shocked. And they're like, well, get up and get dressed. It starts in 90 minutes. And then I was really shocked. And yeah, it's just been a beautiful experience since then. But I guess my main point is like, it could be lows and lows and lows and lows, and you don't know when things can turn around for you. So you have to just hang on.
That's so, girl, like literally just hearing that story.
I almost cried.
Yeah, I mean, because it's so crazy. Everyone always says like overnight success, and people never know that journey, especially being in that entertainment is a beast. It definitely is. And it takes a very strong and resilient mind. So I have to ask you, I mean, because I act myself, what kept you going through all those years to be resilient and say, you know what? I mean, I know you came to your breaking point where you're like, I'm leaving, I'm done. But during that time, what kept you going? What was your motivation?
Hey, honestly, I love it. I love being an entertainer. I love comedy. I love writing jokes, you know? So I think, you know, they say like, what you're willing to do for free is probably the thing that you really, really love. And so, yeah, it didn't bother me at the time that I wasn't like making money. Now I had to go get, real life is real life, right? I had to get a hustle job, but
I got a roof.
right. I think if you really love something, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, willing to do it unpaid because you just love it, that satisfies you for a while, for quite some time. Mm-hmm. And I also think I was working to get better as well, right? So I also had people that I was looking at who I felt were maybe a year ahead of me in their career. or maybe, you know, a decade ahead of me in their career. And so I was using those as places to kind of like help me with my aspirations, to inspire me. And I also have to be careful, we all do, is don't start competing with those people though. Don't let them make you feel like, well, I'm not doing good enough.
Yeah.
You know, people are starting to pass me up. Let those people be kind of people who help you set the pace. Here's what I can look forward to, so that when you hear a huge announcement from someone, oh, I just got this. Well, here's what I can look forward to in 5 years. Here's what I can look forward to when it's my turn, you know, in a year or whatever. And I think for me, trying to keep that seeing, and what's hard is like, when you don't see Black women who look like you getting those opportunities, it can be very discouraging, right?
Yeah.
So if I go back and look at a very famous sketch comedy television show and I don't see people who look like me, it's discouraging, right? And you have to try to, so then I have to remember too, let me try to be that person for people. Let me try to be that role model. And so then you find yourself kind of trying to tear down the tall trees and break through the weeds, and you're trying to blaze a trail for someone else. And so I think a combination of that, of this is what I love to do, and I'm doing this for someone else, for like future generations. So that eventually people are not like the only Black person at their gig, the only Black person on this production, the only Black person on this show, that it is many of us working in different places. But yeah, doing it for the next generation is totally keeps me going.
Well, girl, honestly, like, just talking to you and hearing you it's so inspiring, because especially someone who has success and is wanting to pass the torches, you don't really see that nowadays. Everyone is so it's so competitive. No one wants to help the next person. So I love that you're saying to set the tone for future generations to come, because people need that. Like, you know, everyone starts somewhere, and I think people forget that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, remember when you started, right?
Exactly.
And what you needed.
Yes.
Right.
So
I want to touch on you now living in that space of having people now look to you, having people seeing your face, having people, you know, you've been through that journey, and I'm so glad you shared that journey with us. Thank you again, because I think it gives a lot of perspective and scope to, it's a badass industry out there, and this is like, if you stay on your path, you will find your blessings at some point. And I think you're a great testament to that. What does it feel like as a successful show and being on a major network, knowing that there's people now looking to you? You know, what is that? What is the advice that you would give to them as like looking to you in that? Now you're in this realm here. You know, what would you like to impart to them about your journey, and how to, you know, how to kind of keep their pace and their mental on point when life gets tough, not just in the biz, but life. We've had life stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Life. We have a saying around here: life will life you sometimes, and you.
Woo!
Sometimes you just,
say it louder for the people who can't hear you.
Please.
Life will life you. And my grandmother used to have the saying, if you don't have problems, keep on living. Like, so some of the, you know, the trials and the issues that you're having, this is the nature of the human experience. And that I know sometimes it feels like my life is so hard and nothing is going right for me. Why is this happening to me? But some of it is just the nature of the world we live in, and it is not so much focused on you. And so in that same regard, when bad things happen, know that they're not totally, you know, it's not totally focused around you, but also know that when good things happen too, we have to remember to kind of stay even. I didn't just get this on my own. You are supported by other people. So keeping a strong circle of people, maybe it's some family, maybe not. Learn to be choosy. Maybe it's some friends. That's okay. For me, I have a therapist that was in my team, is in my corner. I also have, you know, my representatives that are, you know, in my corner, and also were very patient with me through this process. So I know a lot of people are seeking representation, but getting the right ones is better than having no one. Is just as good as having the right ones when it's your time. And then I think for me, I'm a person of faith. I believe in God. And so keeping myself taking care of myself, my spiritual care is also part of my self-care. And so also remembering that these jobs don't make me, so not having the job doesn't break me either. You know, what's for me is for me. And I think for my personal story is just to stay in your lane, keep driving, keep moving forward. Because for me, it was just a matter of time. It was not if, it was just when. But if I had given up, then I would have changed the story and it would not have turned out for me. And so if you can hold out, and I know it's hard riding the bus in Los Angeles. That's not great. It's hard. It's hard working those hours at that hustle job, and then, you know, not even like getting your promotion there. You know, it's not even like the money you want. It's hard, you know, living in an apartment. I had bed bugs, you know, it's rough. I remember one time I went to an audition and I had a car, but the windows didn't roll down on the driver's side. And when I pulled up to the security guard, it was at Sony. It was a brother. He was so nice. He said, you know, can you roll down your window? I was like, I can't, the window doesn't work. And so I had to get out on the passenger side, give him my ID. And he was like, you know, we shoot TV shows here. I'm like, yes, I know, I'm an actor, I'm here. I think I was like this, you know, in the top 2 for this role to be the star of this show. And he looked me up, he was like, yep, they waiting for you. Oh my gosh. And when I got in the car, he mouthed to me, I hope you get it. Cause I mean, he was like, man, look at you. Your car the window doesn't even roll down, but you got to keep going.
But
I
you're
think
there.
the next, yeah.
You're
Yes.
showing up.
Yeah.
Yes. There.
Yes.
Even in that car that I'm like, oh, I hope this pulls out of this studio lot. It could be stuck. And you have to and then also when you get to the next place where you want to be, don't fake the funk and act like you weren't there before, right? So don't get, as my mom would say, don't get too big for your britches. So don't forget when you know, we're in your studio apartment. So take care of your 1 bedroom. Because remember when you had that studio apartment and you begged to have, I remember I was in an apartment so small, I could sit on my bed and open the refrigerator.
Wow.
So go clean your room, Christina.
I like that.
Girl, you honestly, like every little nugget and everything that you've been saying has been so enlightening.
The hairs on my arms.
Yeah, because I don't feel like so many people want to talk about the journey. I feel like once they've gotten there, it's kind of like it was easy. Now most people want to talk about like the struggle. And even when people say, oh, enjoy the process, you're even saying in that process, I had to deal with X, Y, and Z. And I feel like that's so powerful for people who are listening, no matter even if they're not trying to pursue acting, just in life in general, just to stay on that path. Like, girl, you've been the bomb. I just love everything that you've been
Oh,
saying.
thank you.
Yeah, it's truly inspiring.
Yeah, and to, like you said, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Please.
Like you said, yeah. I was saying with any industry though, right? It applies to anything.
Spill the tea, girl. We just gonna sit here and chill while you keep talking.
Look, it applies to anything, right? You guys didn't start off with all the listeners and all the followers that you have now, right?
No.
Ma'am.
So if somebody tells you, I'm gonna start my own podcast, I'm gonna start my own interview show, you know, and it's not working out the way I want to, you'd be doing them a disservice if you just pretend like you started off and it just was the bomb overnight.
No.
Like, I think we do ourselves a disservice and we do each other a disservice. Like, let me let you in on the nitty gritty. Let me tell you how it really is. And yeah, we just can't forget those times. I think, and it, like people say, oh, you want to make sure you're being gracious and that you have gratitude. Well, don't forget where you came from. I think that's it.
It's true.
Right.
Okay, I mean, now, since we've had some good tea, let's now dive into your character, Aunt Denise. When you're playing that role, would you say there's a part of Christina that comes out? What are some similarities and some differences between who Christina is and who Aunt Denise is?
I would say, yeah, we have some similarities for
I feel
sure.
like there is
I'm
something there. I'm feeling a little Anthony.
But first of all, I'm gonna say, as far as the things that Denise says, sometimes people say Denise is crazy, but if you really are honest with yourself, isn't Denise sometimes saying the thing you were thinking?
Always.
So either you're crazy too, or she is really, I think she's grounded in reality, but sometimes she to me says some things that are a bit extreme that I would not say in my family if I wanted to remain in the family. So yeah, I mean, they would be like, this is not a TV show. How dare you? Get out. Like, yeah. So, but I stay in that family week after week because I have a contract at ABC. So yeah, no, I don't talk the way she talks all the time. I mean, I have my moments, but yes, she wears wigs and loves wigs. I just got into wigs. I love them. She's a doting aunt and she's obsessed with her nieces and nephews, and I'm obsessed with my nieces. I am always under their Instagram posts and calling them and FaceTiming. And, you're learning how to ride a bike. Girl, I see you. Let me see you ride that bike. I love you so much. You're the best person that ever rode this bike. And my niece will be like, I'm 4. What are you talking about? I just said nuts. And I'm also nuts for the kids on the show. So I will go crazy. Yeah.
That cast is phenomenal. So that must be a treat to be able to be a part of that ensemble.
Oh my gosh. He doesn't hate it, but to be working with Zach Morris every week, Mark Paul Gosselaar is like,
trust me, I was like, I feel like everybody at some point had a crush on at some point, everybody.
Yes. And someone just made this comment a couple of days ago on Twitter, and I'm so glad they said it. They were like, every time I see Tika Sumpter walk in the door with Mark Paul Gosselaar, I feel like Zach and Lisa from Saved by the Bell got married. I'm like, yes!
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Now you can't unsee it.
Exactly. Once you're done.
But I love it. I mean, yeah, Tika Sumpter is so amazing. It's like to have a show a network television show led by a Black woman, especially a comedy, it's pretty rare to have like a Black woman be the #1 person on the show. So it's just an honor and she's taught me so much. And then Gary Cole, who plays the grandfather, he's also from Chicago. And yeah, we hit it off on the first day, and he just treated me like a comedy equal. And he's just been amazing to work with. And then our children are so wonderful. Like I said, I'm always under their Instagram posts, like, you look so beautiful. I love the way you look today. This dress is so cute. And they're like, their moms and dads run their Instagram. And I'm like, also, Mom, if you pick this dress, it's so beautiful. I love it. And just like, Christina, get off of our Instagram. But I can't stop it. They're so cute.
That's lovely to hear. The camaraderie on set, I think, is what makes it so special. That you can feel the bond in the storytelling. You can feel like the actor-to-actor bond as well. That way it amplifies the characters on the track. I think my hat's off to all of you and the work that you're doing, on a constant. I think it's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's been wonderful. And when you spend 5 days a week, 12 hours a day with someone, we've all had highs and lows. Like, they knew when I went off and eloped and got married. And I remember the kids were like, you got married? I'm like, yeah, but we have to keep it a secret because we haven't told anybody yet. We eloped. And it was just like special things like that. Like we all remember that episode when we were all trying to keep it a secret that week that I got married. So yeah, it is a very family-like environment, and it's been such a beautiful experience.
That's so good to hear, because I mean, sometimes you finally get that role and then they're saying, oh, working with this person's been like a nightmare, so does it make the experiences, especially when you're spending so much time, because it's like that really becomes like your family, because how many hours you have to put on set. So that's actually great to hear that it is a family vibe. I love that. And
and in
the work.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it comes through. during the pandemic, I was going to say, they also we were the only people that each other sees, because while you're working, you know, they want you to just go straight home and then come to the studio and then go straight home. And so actually the only people I was around was them.
Yeah.
Besides my husband. So, I mean, I think all of these shows, when you see them this year, the ones that were produced during the pandemic, as they start to roll out, I think it's going to seem more intimate as you watch them, because you'll see people, they're not going to be like on location or just at a mall. They're literally just a lot of people just having conversations with each other in the home. And, you know, maybe that was something good that came out of it for the industry.
I agree.
Yeah, that new adapting to that what we call the new lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, girl, before we wrap it up, this is your last chance to go ahead and spill some tea. So if you have some projects you're working on, or if there was something that we didn't cover, this is your chance right now, girl, to spill the tea.
Oh, okay. I got some tea. I have a new project. Well, I have two things. One, you guys help me out. You know, I'm trying to get into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I would like to be an action comedy hero. That's a wish.
Manifest it, girl. Put it out there.
Yes. There has to be some voluptuous wig-wearing hero that we need.
Okay.
I actually would live for that. So bring
exactly.
it. Live for that.
But seriously, coming up right now, I'm currently shooting a project with Kristen Bell of The Good Place and Veronica Mars.
Never heard of her. Never heard of it, though.
Never heard of her. Yes, she is leading the ensemble. It's called The Woman in the House. She is the woman in the house, and she witnesses a murder, and it's a whodunit. You have to try to figure out who the killer is. And I play the detective who tries to solve the crime. So yeah, it's coming out on Netflix fall 2021. So pretty soon, because we're shooting it right now.
Okay.
I was like, oh, she busy, honey.
She booked and busy. Okay.
Booked and busy and blessed. Look, from overlooked to overbooked.
Oh, I like that.
Yes, we gotta get those.
You gotta get some merch popping with your.
I am like in on this. Yeah, we need shirts, we need hats, we need the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay, we're on it.
We will manifest that too, and say you're gonna have some merchandise coming out too.
Love it. I want that. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we're gonna do some quick rapid fires, girl.
Okay.
Wrap it up. So not a storybook. Okay, we just need the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay.
Okay.
So what's one thing about you that surprises people?
One thing about me that surprises people. I think that I'm not as nuts as Denise in real life. They're like, you're so calm. You're fun, but you're not as crazy. I'm like, well, no.
Okay.
I like that. If you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with that extra time?
Okay, between me and you and all of your followers, I'm obsessed with Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, like all of those cooking shows. I would be trying to compete on those shows.
Oh,
They're all I watch. They're all I watch.
Okay, she came through with something good. All right.
I like that. Okay.
Come on, Ari, last one.
Last one. What is one message you would like to give to your fans in one sentence?
Oh, never give up, ever.
Love that.
Boom.
That's how we end the interview right there. So come through, girl. So for people who are living under a rock, because they clearly need to know who you are, let everyone know where they can follow you at, watch the TV show. Go ahead, girl, spill the tea.
Okay, you can check out Mixed Dish Tuesday nights on ABC. It comes on after Blackish, or you can check us out the next day on Hulu. Jump in. We just started season 2. You can start with season 2. You won't have missed anything. So that's every Tuesday. And then if you want to meet me on social media, come to Instagram at teenyanthony.com, TEENANTHONY.
Ooh, okay, girl. And my amazing co-host. Where can everybody follow you at?
Very easy, across the board. Matt Dillon, 1983. And last but not least, my queen. What about you, girl?
You guys can follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew. And of course, check us out on Instagram at Sippin' the Tea TV show. On Twitter, Sippin' the Tea TV1. And for our people watching, of course, subscribe, comment. And for our audio people, we are on all digital streaming platforms. But we will catch you guys same time, same place of another episode of Sippin' the Tea TV show.
You were unbelievable.
Yeah. Me and you. What? Who? I treat you like a wrong number. Click. Wrong number. Wrong number. Yeah, you got the wrong number. Click.